Hello friends, if you are new here, my name is Whitley and welcome to another round of my TBR game, LucidiTBR, where I play as a dreamer fighting nightmares while also trying not to become one. If this is your first time seeing one of my TBR games, I will link January's video here that is going to go a little bit more in depth of the rules, what each space, symbol, and nightmare means, and all of the consequences for filling one of the tracks on the board. But in essence, I am going to roll some dice. Each die is a dream that I'm going to add to my dreamer board and therefore another book to my TBR. Each die color corresponds to a different nightmare, and every nightmare has been assigned a different genre. And each symbol on the die corresponds to a different space on the board, and every space has been assigned a different reading prompt. And if I don't read enough from the previous month, or if I just have some bad luck rolls, I could fill one of these tracks, which could result in multiple different things happening depending on what track gets filled. My dreamer could become exhausted, become a nightmare, or even die, and each of those comes with a different consequence to my reading. It's pretty simple once we get into it. If you have been here before or just want to learn as you go, let's get into it. The first thing we have to do is find out how I did last month to see if we need to keep any of the die from last month onto this month's board. And here is last month's board. Roll 1 was a red power, which is an anticipated horror. For that, I chose Molka by Monica Kim, which I did read, so we can remove that one from the board. Roll 2 was a yellow power, which is an anticipated any other genre. For that, I chose Shift by Hugh Howey, which I did read. Roll 3 was another red power, another anticipated horror. For that, I chose Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker, which I read as well. Roll 4 was a green power. That is an anticipated romance. For that, I chose The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, which I also read. Roll 5 was another yellow power. For that, I chose Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I read that as well. And lastly, roll 6 was a yellow exhaust, which means we got to spin our prompt, spin our wheel. We got an owned book in the other genre category, which I chose The Martian by Andy Weir. And guys, I read that as well. So we get to start this month with a nice clean board. Amazing. Love going into a new month with a fresh clean board. As a little reminder, I'm going to draw 3 dice out of this bag. I'm going to choose one to keep, and based on the color of the die and the symbol that I roll, I'm going to choose a book that fits both the genre and the prompt of the die. I will be choosing 6 dice for 6 rolls for 6 books as always. But first, I have to tell you about the multiple readathons that I'm going to be participating in the month of June. Yes. She said multiple. First, we have the amazing Readathon. This is hosted by Bree over at 4 Paws and a Book. I will leave her announcement video in the description. This is a month-long team-based readathon that is loosely based on The Amazing Race. It can be played on a competitive team, but she also has a team that is a non-competitive team, which I think is really cool for people that, aren't very competitive and just want to chill, low stakes vibes, the readathon. But if you know anything about me, a little fun fact, I am a very competitive person, so I will absolutely be joining one of the competitive teams. This year is Doctor Who themed, which is so cool. I love Doctor Who so much. I mean, have I seen every episode? No, but the episodes I've seen, fantastic. And I'm going with Team Allons-y because the 10th Doctor, man. You can't beat David Tennant. Instead of going to different locations, we're going to be traveling to different times. There are 8 different reading prompts for the 8 different locations or times that we will be visiting throughout the month, which I do have a tentative TBR for. We do already have the reading prompts for each of the 8 legs of the race, which I will go over all of those at the end. I'm really hoping that I can double up with some of these roles with the books that I have chosen for the Amazing Readathon TBR, but I guess we will see how the dice treat me. And I will also be participating in the Tarot Readathon. This is another month-long team-based competitive readathon. This one hosted by Deja and Nicole. I will link both of their announcement videos in the description as well. These teams are divided into the 4 suits of the tarot. I will be joining Team Swords. This is actually going to be my 3rd year participating in the Tarot Readathon, and I have just kind of bounced around teams every single year. The first year I was Wands, second year I was Cups, and then this year I am joining Swords. So maybe next year I will join Pentacles and just round out the tarot deck. But we'll see. I really liked the prompts and the host for the Swords, so Swords it is this year. For this one, what I usually do is just pull my tarot cards as I go throughout the month. That's what I've done in the past. But this year, we actually have a new mechanic. We have the 3-card spread, which I think is such a nice addition. So I'm actually going to pick my first 6 prompts here. And then if I need any more prompts throughout the month after I complete those, I will pull more as needed. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can have some overlap in the tarot pool prompts that I get with the amazing readathon prompts and with the dice pools that I get, but I'll do my tarot pulls at the end, so I kind of know what I have to work with. I love this time of year. There are so many readathons just back to back to back, and if you know me, I love a good readathon. I love the community aspect. I love reading towards a goal. It just gives me so much motivation to read. I also have a mini self goal for the month of June. Not only does this give me extra points with the amazing readathon, but with Pride Month, I want every book that I choose to read this month to have some kind of LGBTQ representation in it. Okay, I think that is all of the housekeeping, all of the goals and things that we'll be participating in. So without further ado, let's get into the rolls. Draw number 1. We have 2 greens and a blue. I feel like it wants me to pick a green, so let's go green. Draw 1, we got a green. And that is a power. Let's go. That is an anticipated read. Roll 1, we got a green power. What a great way to start. Green is the nightmare of temptation. That is a romance, and power is an anticipated read, something that has been hyped lately. And for this, I have chosen Starshipped by Cat Sebastian. This is a new release male romance that I have been so excited to get to. I've had my eye on it ever since it released in March, I think. This follows 2 actors on a very popular sci-fi show that cannot stand each other, total opposites. We have Charlie and Simon, and after a decade of working together, Simon's contract on the show is about to expire, so he is leaving the show. He's excited to move on to new things and to move back to New York, but he's also kind of afraid that people are going to assume that he got kicked off of the show because his kind of feud with Charlie, his showrunner, is so well known. Because Charlie is an absolute sweetheart, everybody loves Charlie. He is afraid that people are going to kind of assume that it's a him problem, and it's going to make his job prospects in the future a little difficult. So in order to put these rumors to rest and to hopefully help his future job prospects and to show everybody, you know, that he can be amicable, he's not hard to work with, they decide to put on a public friendship. But Charlie has to suddenly go home. I don't know where that is, but it's a far distance away. He has to go home for a family emergency. So with this, you know, very public, fake friendship going on for the public, Simon decides to tag along. And of course, the more time that they spend together, the more time that they really start to like each other, and maybe even stronger feelings emerge. And this has so many tropes that just work so well for me. We have enemies to lovers. We have a fake relationship. We have yearning. We have a road trip. I also, for some reason, usually eat up books that feature like people in show business. So this honestly sounds like such a recipe for success for me. I'm so excited. Draw 2. We have, 2 reds and a green. Same theory. It wants me to pick a red, so let's go red. Draw 2. We got a red. And that is a power. Roll 2, we got another power, which is hyped, anticipated, but it is a red this time, which is the nightmare of primeval fear. That is a horror. For this, I have chosen The Library at Hellebore by Cassandra Call. I don't know if it has been like publicly hyped per se, but I have been so hyped, so highly anticipating getting to this book. And I have this stunning Evernight, I think. Yeah, Evernight edition. And it's gorgeous. So I am so excited to get into this baby. This is a dark academia horror. It is set at a school for magically but very dangerous individuals. Our girl Alessa Lee is kidnapped and forcibly enrolled at this school. And she is told that if she is able to graduate, she will get acceptance, redemption, a normal life. But on graduation day, I think the teachers go on this like murderous rampage, killing all of the students, and Alessa and a group of students manages to escape, and we kind of follow their journey trying to survive and escape this school. I also think that there is something about human sacrifices, which is very intriguing. Cassandra Call has been a little bit of a hit or miss author for me. I've given them a 5-star, but I've also given them like a 2.5 star. So I am very curious to see kind of where this one is going to lie towards more. So I am very optimistic. And the Goodreads has the tag this being queer. So 2 for 2 for the LGBTQ rep. Draw 3. We have, okay, a green, a red, and a yellow. Let's go with another green. Draw 3 was another green. And that is a shadow, which is a backlist. Roll 3, we have another romance, amazing, but this time it is a shadow, which is a backlist. For this, I have chosen The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This has been on my TBR for so long, and I do not know why I have not picked it up yet. I think I'm a little scared. I don't know how it ends, but I do know that this tends to break people's hearts. So I'm a little intimidated, but this is a Greek mythology inspired love story between Achilles. He is called the best of the Greeks. He is this phenomenal warrior. He is smart. He is strong. He is beautiful. And then we also have Patroclus. I told myself I was going to look up how to pronounce that name before I did this. Alas, here we are guessing, but we're going to go with Patroclus. Patroclus is a, sweet, awkward, exiled prince. These two are trained together and eventually are sent off to war together when Helen of Sparta is kidnapped, kicking off the Trojan War. This story, this time frame, this mythology is all so intriguing to me. I've always loved Greek mythology, but my obsession has really recently been kind of reignited the past couple of years with Epic, the musical, taking over my life last year. And I also read Circe by Madeline Miller and absolutely loved it. So I do know I really like Madeline Miller's writing, and I honestly cannot wait for these two to absolutely gut me and rip my heart out. I'm ready. Draw 4. We have 2 yellows and a green. I mean, I gotta go with what it wants, a yellow. Draw 4 was a yellow. And that is a power. Anticipated or hyped. Let's go. Roll 4, we got another power. Let's go. But this time it is a yellow, which is the Nightmare of Imprisonment. That is any other genre other than fantasy, horror, and romance, which are my big 3. For this, I have chosen Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence of whether dystopian falls into the fantasy category, but I'm going to make an exception for this because dystopian isn't really fantasy. I think dystopian is actually probably more sci-fi, so I'm counting it. We're going with Sunrise on the Reaping. This is a prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy. This is kind of a Haymitch backstory. This follows Haymitch during the 50th annual Hunger Games, the Quarter Quell. And as you may or may not know, the game makers of the Hunger Games like to spice it up a little bit on their anniversary games, and the 50th is a big one, the Quarter Quell. So they decide instead of their normal 12 reapings, they are going to reap twice as many tributes. So instead of having 2 tributes from every district, they're taking 4. And Haymitch wants nothing more than to get through the reaping day scot-free and just get back to the woman he loves. But I think we all know that the odds are not going to be in his favor. If you've read the Hunger Games trilogy, you know, as I do, that Haymitch's journey has not been an easy one. I'm a little nervous, but I am also so excited to get this glimpse into Hamish's past and to learn about this girl that he loved, and honestly, to see the iconic quarter quell. I am hoping that this one is better than The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I mean, I have seen nothing but raving reviews for this book for anybody who's read it, and I know The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was a little hit or miss for people, so my expectations are so high. I'm so excited. Draw 5. We have a blue, a red, and a green. Let's do a blue. Draw 4, we got a blue. And that is a backlist, a shadow. Roll 5, we got another shadow, which is a backlist, but a blue this time. That is The Nightmare of the Depths. That is a fantasy. I'm going way back into the backlist for this one. I'm going with Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Cawthorst. This has been on my shelves for nearly a decade. This is YA, but it's also a sapphic fantasy romance. We follow a young princess who has been betrothed to the prince in her neighboring kingdom since childhood, a marriage of political alliance. But our princess has a little hidden magical gift, and the kingdom that she's moving to actually has forbidden magic. So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is she actually starts to fall for her betrothed, the prince's sister. That's really all I know about this one. I mean, you had me at lesbian princesses. Yes, please. Unfortunately, YA has really been a little more hit or miss recently. I mean, that makes sense. The more time that passes, the farther away I'm getting from the targeted demographic. So I'm honestly not sure how this one is going to go for me. I mean, I absolutely still do find those YAs that, you know, capture my heart and I adore, but they're becoming a little less frequent. So I'm hopeful, but I'm just going in with very little expectations. I want to at least try it out. It's been on my shelf for so long, so I need to find out if it's going to be for me or if it's time to just let this one go. Draw 6. We have a blue, a green, and a yellow. Let's do another green. And the last roll, easy peasy. Roll 6 was another green power, which is a hyped, anticipated romance. I have the perfect book. For this, I'm going with Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am such a huge TJR fan, and I have been so excited to get around to this one. Another one that I'm a little afraid of because the ending is known to make people cry. A little hint, I'm sure you can tell by the books of the vlog that you might be getting this month. This follows a woman astronaut in the year 1980. This follows Joan. She is applying and training to become one of the first female scientists to be a part of NASA's shuttle space station program. And as she starts training to become an astronaut and training with these other candidates, I believe she starts to fall in love, not only with the space station and NASA itself, but with one of the fellow female candidates. Taylor Jenkins Reid is really out here writing characters like no other. They are so real and bring so much emotion to these stories, and I have been loving books centering around space lately. So, I mean, absolutely, I am so ready for this one. Spacey, sapphic, historical, with Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing and character work. Absolutely sign me up. Yes, please. These are the books that I'm going to be reading in the month of June. We have 6 books. We have 2,161 pages, so absolutely doable. We have some heavy hitters this month. We have some very highly rated and recommended books. So I am so hopeful that this month is going to be such a highly rated month in my reading. I'm so excited. And I was actually able to double up all of these books into my amazing readathon TBR. Love that. So there are 8 prompts for the amazing readathon. 6 of these have already been accounted for. I will quickly go over the amazing readathon TBR, the prompts, and what I will be reading for them. These aren't necessarily in order of when they're going to appear during the month, but these are the 8 prompts. First, we have multiple POV. For that, I'm going with A Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst, recommended on BookTube. Of course, we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Preposition in the title, we have the Song of Achilles. The next prompt is Building on the cover. I don't have an LGBTQ book on my bookshelf with a building on the cover, but I'm thinking I'm going to go to the library and I'm thinking I'm going to pick Wolf Song by TJ Klune. This is his paranormal romance series, and I am such a big TJ Klune fan. I am a stan, so I want to pick up everything that this man has written. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with Wolf Song for this one. Next, we have Mental Health Rep. For this, I'm going with Starship. I looked online, and I guess this has really good representation for, like, I think anxiety and OCD. Next, we have An Isolated Setting, and that is, of course, the library at Hellebore. This all takes place at the Hellebore School, so absolutely. Next is Involves a Holiday. Hear me out. In the Hunger Games world, the Reaping is like a national holiday, and she said that it doesn't actually have to be like an American holiday or like a real world holiday. It could be like a holiday in a different world, so absolutely going with the Reaping as the holiday with sunrise on the Reaping. And the last prompt is simply a book I don't own. I'm thinking that I'm going to pick up a horror novella for this. I'm thinking either Knock Knock Open Wide or Walking Practice. I'll decide when I get there for sure. Okay, friends, we have moved over to the desk. I'm ready to do my tarot pulls. I have a couple of decks to choose from. I love them both. This one is the first one that I ever got. This is the Witch's Garden Tarot. The artwork is stunning. The other one I have is inspired by deities, folklore, and fairy tales from around the world. Also stunning. I've used the Witch's Garden every other year, so I think I'm going to give these a try. I don't know if this is how you're supposed to shuffle tarot, but this is how I always shuffle. And then I usually just go until I feel that it's time to stop or something jumps out at me. Like that one. Okay. That is one. That one feels good. Two. Couple jumpers there. And three. Our first 3-card spread. We have 3 of Swords. And this 3-card spread is really cool because each one has a little either side prompt that you can replace the actual prompt for the card with, or for the last one, you get double points. So we'll go over that as we go. For the 3 of Swords, read a book you think will be emotionally devastating. Oh baby, have I got some options this month. So easy. But we can either choose that prompt or a book whose page number ends in this card's number. So any book with a number of pages ending in 3, that would have been easy, but I mean, this prompt with the selections that I have this month, so easy. I mean, either one of these I think is gonna absolutely wreck me. So easy enough. Pull 2. The Knight of Cups. Let's see what that is. Okay, we're just getting all of the emotional prompts. The Knight of Cups is read a book with a character going through emotional turmoil. I mean, I think we have multiple options here. I mean, these people are fighting for their lives. If that's not emotional turmoil, I don't know what is. We know that our boy Haymitch is going to go through something devastating. They're going to war filled with emotional turmoil. And I don't know if the actual characters are going through emotional turmoil or if it's just going to be me, but we have plenty of options for this prompt. And the last draw. Oh, and that one, if I didn't want to do that prompt, I could also plus or minus. So I could do the 10 of cups, or no, I could do the page of cups or the queen of cups, but I like that prompt, so we're sticking to it. Last draw for this 3-card spread is the Hierophant. We have a major arcana. Let's see what that is. Okay, read a book passed down or recommended to you. And this is the one that I could get double points for. So if I can find a book that fits this prompt and has exactly 3 words, I can submit it for double points. Unfortunately, none of my existing TBR books are exactly 3 words. That's not necessary, but your girl wants double points. So let me do some research and I'll be back. Okay, I found a perfect book. It is very short, so it is good that double points apply because I'm pretty sure that the points are based on the page length. So for this, 3 words, Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. Also LGBTQ, so we're sticking on theme. This is a short little horror novella about 5 friends that decide to play with witchcraft, and they decide that they want to hold a seance. But that seance goes terribly wrong when one of their friends ends up getting possessed. I love possession stories. They are like some of the creepiest horrors to me, so I'm very excited to try this little baby out. Okay, let's do 3 more. You don't have to keep the cards out that you've already drawn. You can put them back in the deck, but I usually pull them aside so I don't draw them again. Choo. And 3. Okay. Draw 1. Justice. Let's see what Justice's prompt is. Ooh, read a book by a BIPOC, queer, or disabled author. We can do that. We have Cassandra Caw, who is non-binary, so queer author. Check. And our second draw, the 9 of Swords. Lots of swords today. Let's see what the 9 of Swords prompt is. Oh, amazing. Read a book with mental health representation. That is exactly an amazing readathon prompt. So even though, because it is in position 2, I could choose to do the 8 of Swords or the Page of Swords, I'm happy with what we got. So we're going to stick with that. And as you know, for my mental health representation prompt, I went with Starshipped by Cat Sebastian. And the final draw for today, we have the 6 of Cups. Let's see what the 6 of Cups is. Read a childhood favorite or a book that feels nostalgic to you. And this needs to be 3 words to get those double points. Let me think about this for a moment. I will be back. Okay, I found her. So, hear me out. Dystopian romance is such a nostalgic thing for me, with things like The Hunger Games, with things like Divergent, the Matched series, the Uglies series. Like, I loved dystopian romance. That was probably my favorite genre in my teenage years. So dystopian romance does give me that like bit of nostalgia for that time. So for this, I am going with Us Dark View by Alexis Patton. I honestly don't know a lot about this one. I do know it is a, of course, dystopian romance between a prisoner and a prison guard. So not only do we get a dystopian romance, we get an enemies to lovers. Right up my alley. I'm so excited. I've been meaning to get to this one for so long, so I'm happy to be fitting it in today. Okay, that went better than expected. I only had to add 2 books to the TBR for my first 6 pulls of the Tarot Readathon. One of them is a super shorty patorty, and a Strike View isn't that long either. So fantastic. Could not be more happy. These are all of the books that I'm going to be reading in the month of June. Plus, I'm so happy that we were able to double up so much. The odds were really in my favor today. Let's hope that that continues throughout the month. Let me know if you will be participating in either of these readathons, and let me know down in the comments what teams you're going to be joining. Or if you don't have much to say and just want to let me know you were here, leave me some rainbows in the comments for Pride Month. And while you're down there, don't forget to like the video if you liked it and subscribe if you want to see more from me in the future. I hope you are loving what you are reading lately. Continue to stay safe out there, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, friends.
You didn't think I'd be here waiting up all night, all night. I'm here to tell you something. There ain't another love that is gonna hold you down like mine.